Hey guys, it's Sam and I have another unhaul. I know I just did one last month, but that was for books that I'd already read and were on my shelves. I decided to do another TBR unhaul because I'm just stressed about my TBR. Not in a way that like, I need to calm down or anything, but I just I have goals for it and I just have an image of where I want it to be. And I just really want a solid chance to get it down to a manageable number by the end of the year. And I'm just acquiring a lot of new books that I'm really excited about, and that's why I wanted to get my TBR down in the first place. I want books to come in and me be able to read them quickly before new books come in that then are more exciting to my brain, because that's how our trash human brain works. We want constant, fun, and that's why we always are refreshing Twitter, and this is how our dumb brains are programmed now. And so even though these are books that I was excited about at one point, some of them I'm not so much, and I have reasons for that. So I had you guys help me with this because I decided to do a little Instagram picks my unhaul, basically. So there were some books I'm going to talk about first that I knew I was going to unhaul regardless, and then I had some books on the maybe pile that you guys helped me sort through. So let's get into it. The first on the list are two contemporaries by the same author. That is From Twinkle with Love and There's Something About Sweetie from Sandhya Menon. Now, I really loved her first book, When Dimple Met Rishi, and these are two YA contemporaries. They're companions to When Dimple Met Rishi. They're in the same kind of universe, things like that. But I didn't read these all summer, and I was sort of holding them for summer because contemporary are what I tend to read more in the summer, although I don't read a lot of contemporary at all in general. But also I'm kind of over YA contemporary. Always, pretty much. Very, very rarely do I want to pick up a YA contemporary. I'm now dipping my toes into adult contemporary romance and things like that, and I just feel like now that I've dipped my toes into that and I am kind of liking that a little bit, I don't want to go back and read about high schoolers falling in love, because with contemporary stories, it is so contemporary, high school, something like that is really hard to relate to. With my fantasy stories and teens and all of their stuff, it feels a little different because obviously it's a completely different world. With YA contemporary romance, I'm just So I think I'm just gonna stick to some of my favorite YA contemporary authors. If I do want to read a YA contemporary, I'll probably keep reading Morgan Matson, maybe Jandy Nelson if she comes out with something new, but I think those are the only two authors that I probably would seek out their newer releases, because they tend to have a lot more family themes and grief and things that I tend to really enjoy, not just fluffy contemporary. So I think these are probably very cute, but I'd rather continue diving into the adult contemporary romance because I can relate to it a little bit more as an adult. Then we have The Faded Sky by Mary Rabinot Kowal. This will technically still stay on my TBR. I think this is a book that I want to read. I'm just getting rid of the physical copy. I listened to the first book on audiobook, and I do have a physical copy of that, but I listened to the first book on audiobook and really enjoyed that. So if I want to read this book, I'll be listening to it on audio. I don't need it to take up a spot on my physical TBR. Then more contemporaries, and these contemporaries have been on my shelf for years, and that is My Life Next Door and The Boy Most Likely To by Huntley Fitzpatrick. I started the My Life Next Door, and you can see about how far I got into it, and just wasn't really enjoying it. I think I started it for my owls or something back in April. So during peak contemporary time, I just found this to be very simply written and just wasn't really enjoying it that much. So I held on to these, like I said, for years. I think these were possibly book outlet buys back in 2015 or something, and these just felt too of the time because they are contemporary, so contemporaries do not age well at all, and just a little too simple, and I just wasn't really into it. So again, this kind of goes with the Sandhya Menon ones. I just want to read adult contemporary if I'm gonna want a contemporary romance to binge. Now we get to the Instagram picks. The first book on the chopping block is Restore Me by Tahar Mafi. This is one that I've been kind of I don't know, for a while now. And then in my discussion video, when I was talking about series that were continued, a lot of people brought up Restore Me and how it had a lot of the problems that I said that I don't like when series are continued. So that made me even more And then Instagram said 76% get rid of it. So ultimately, although I was kind of excited when I got this, I don't really want to read Shatter Me again right now. Anytime soon. If I want to get into the series again, maybe I will, but I won't read this without reading Shatter Me again. and I just don't want to right now. I have other things I want to read. It's not a top priority. So I think that's a sign that this needs to go. Then we have Sea Fire by Natalie C. Parker. This, I believe, is some kind of like pirate type story, and I've forgotten what it's about, basically. That's one of the reasons that it's on the chopping block. I've forgotten what it's about. I keep skimming over it when I'm looking at my shelf. There are definitely some books that my eyes keep landing on, like I really want to read that, I really want to read that, and this book I'm just kind of like, meh. And I feel like it would fall into a category of a readathon needs a particular prompt, and that's when I'll read that. And I do have enough books on my shelf that could probably fit a prompt or something, so I'm not super concerned about keeping this around just for that reason. And Instagram said 71%, get rid of it. Then we have Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Coulthurst. This is one that's just been on my TBR for years. I feel like at least 3 years. I mean, when did this book come out? 2016. So it has been 3 years. I think I got this shortly after it came out. I want to read it because it's two princesses falling in love. I've heard good things about it, but I just keep skimming my eyes over it. Now this one is really close. Instagram says 56% yes, get rid of it, and 44% no, do not. I'm going to actually be holding on to this one because a couple people messaged me only about this book saying like, no, they really want me to read it, or like, I've also had it on my shelf too, let's buddy read it or something. So there's a pretty loud contingent of people that do really like this, and this was a more close poll. And so with the closer polls, I'm kind of also thinking myself a little bit and not just going with what Instagram says because it is so close. So I'm going to be holding on to this one. Then we have Dark Shores by Danielle L. Jensen, another one that I actually got pretty recently, but this is another pirate story. I still kind of remember the synopsis and whatever. They have to seek the dark shores, you know, a place that's all magical, mysterious, whatever. Of all the ones that I put on the list, this was kind of the one that I was thinking about keeping the most. And I'm still really torn right now when talking about it. This is a 67% no from Instagram, so it is a little more leaning towards a dramatic no, but I'm also kind of wondering if a lot of people don't know about this. I did say in my Instagram stories, I'm like, guys, if you pick no for everything just to fuel the unhaul fire, it doesn't work. Because I kind of feel like people are like, no, no, get rid of it, unhaul, yes! You know, like really excited. So I'm very, very torn about this one even right now. Before going into the video, I was like, I think I'm gonna get rid of it, but now I'm like, I don't know. My heart wants to hold on to a pirate book. I think that's it, mostly. My heart wants to hold on to a pirate book because I want to read a pirate book, but now like summer's almost over. I'm getting into the fall reading mood, so, but part of me wants to keep this. I think I'm gonna keep it. And I know I said Instagram was picking my unhaul, but also I have final veto power. So I think I'm gonna keep this temporarily. Again, if the end of the year gets close and I freak out again, this will go on the chopping block. But I have gotten rid of a lot of books in this little unhaul. And my eye keeps kind of snagging on this, but like not wanting to read it right now, but like snagging on it. So I feel like I want to keep a pirate book around just in case. And the last book is City of Lies by Sam Hawke. And I was really surprised about this because this was one that I didn't think most people would even know about or care about. And this has basically been 50-50 in the poll from the beginning. So some people must know about it enough to advocate for it. So I think I'm going to keep this one. This one right now is 51 to like 49. Basically, and at one point it was exactly 50-50. So I think I'm going to keep this one just because there is a loud enough contingent that seems to be advocating for it. So 3 books total in this unhaul were actually sort of saved by Instagram. Let's say that. So these are the books that I am getting rid of off my TBR, which is, I mean, mostly these are YA contemporaries, honestly. So comment below, let me know if you agree with any of my choices, disagree with any of my choices, that there are some on that I kept that I should have maybe gotten rid of, anything like that. I probably won't bring back any books that have been chopped, but you can still advocate for some of them that I kept, I guess. I don't know. But I'm much happier because now I can get all my TBR books onto 2 shelves on my shelf. So the goal is actually sort of in my head to get down to 1 shelf. So getting close. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.